Well, I'm back. Back in the mountains, that is. Finally. Been far too long. But today I'm back in the Zirkle Wilderness area. And another summit of Little Agnes. All right. Well, are you serious? I'm standing next to a giant pile of snow at almost 12,000 feet or so. Still getting attacked by mosquitoes, apparently. This is weird up here. I'm going to attempt to go up over this and see if it's any better. Right there is the summit of Little Agnes. I've been there before a couple times. I've actually lunched in this area before because it drops down a little bit and then you're in the wind, out of the wind, and luckily today the wind's not blowing through this little gap here, so I don't think I'll be able to have lunch here. I also thought I heard voices. I haven't heard them in a while. Could be down in this valley over here. There's a nice lake over there. Enough jibber jabbering. Time for some lunch. Do a little class 3 up to lunch. Oh, yeah, there's a good spot over here with fantastic views. Oh yeah, the snow runs all the way over this whole backside. Shoot. But yeah, this would be a good spot for lunch. These rocks. Oh boy. Unbelievable. It is just about July, June 27th. Still a fair amount of snow. Cool. All right. Over here. Hi guys. This is, I don't know if are you seeing that? It's little sparrows or swallows. Flying real close. It's pretty cool. This might be. But I was watching online. I won't remember the channel. It might be one of those popular YouTube guy does like historical food things. Find a place to sit down. That's a good one. The guy does historical food things, and he kept it simple. I think it was his website or his channel, but he talked about how they eat peanut butter and jellies, I think during World War I or II. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. It's a bit wasteful or a bit much. But according to him, peanut butter and jellies were double deckers. So I'm going for it. I'm double decking my PB&J today. A lot of bread. Okay, that's way too much bread. That is way too much bread. I haven't been here in 2 years, so it's been a while, and this is my first summit of the season. I did some butte hunting. Went to a few buttes down in southern Wyoming when it was still cold and snowy here. I don't know if it's a childhood memory thing, or maybe it's just a simple culinary fact. Maybe you're both. But for some reason, every time I have peanut butter and jelly, I really enjoy some pretzels with it. Well, if they ate these in one of the wars, there, I'd be full and ready to take a nap afterwards. I don't know about fighting. A couple of years ago, I was just spinning through YouTube, watching people hike the CDT, and there was one guy. He was very consistent about his uploads, and so I was able to just keep up with him the whole time. And eventually, I ended up messaging, and I let him know that, hey, if you're once you get up near Steamboat, if you need to ride into Steamboat, let me know. So he let me know when and where he was going to be at a specific time. And so I actually was just like, you know what, I'm going to go meet him out there and camp, and then we'll just drive right into Steamboat. Wasn't terribly far from maybe Parkview Mountain. I was just driving through the forest, and I'd almost driven through the entire forest back out to the main road, and I ended up driving back through the forest again, back on the same road I'd came in on, and I'm just driving along going, this guy is not going to be here tonight. And sure enough, some dude just comes out of the wood and starts walking along the road. It was him. Turns out I passed him while he'd stepped off the road to use the restroom. But it was great. We spent the entire night. I had actually brought some beers and bourbon, and we spent the entire night just jibber jabbing. And the next day, I took him in. I bought him some pizza at Bojo's in Steamboat Springs. Good pizza. Got him some pizza. Took him up to Safeway and then the gear shop, and then back out to the trail. He's hoping to connect his steps, so I had to take him back to where he left the trail. It was really neat. It was really cool. And the funny thing was, a year later, he came back to the. He said was from Canada. He's a British guy, but he lived in Canada. And so a year later, he contacted me and let me know he's going to hike the Hayduke Trail in Utah. And I said, okay, well, shoot, I can pick you up at the airport and get you over to where you need to start. So I met him there, and that trail starts in Moab, Utah. So I met him there, and he wasn't planning on starting the day that I picked him up. I took him out the next day to look at some stuff. I took him out to Fisher Towers, and we did the Fisher Tower hike kind of loop there. And he says, "Is Utah all like this?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "This isn't good." He was not prepared for what Utah was like. Then that day after we'd hiked around Fisher Towers, and like I said, he didn't really know what he was getting into. He was actually slightly bothered by how rough the terrain was just there in Fishers. And like I said, he's done tons of hikes. But then that day, after we'd done, some sightseeing and stuff and done a few hikes, we went back into town and we were getting some dinner. And man, he was 100 miles an hour on his phone. And I finally was like, man, what are you doing? And he let me know. He's like, I'm not going to hike the Hayduke Trail. I think I'm going to go down to Mexico with my girlfriend. blew me blew me away. I sort of apologized. I didn't want to be the reason, you know, for exposing him to stuff that maybe it wasn't going to be exactly what he experiences on the Hayduke. I would imagine I couldn't have shown him any more that you wouldn't experience on the Hayduke. The next day, his flight was booked to go to Mexico, so I dropped him off and came back home. And I could stay up here all day if I wanted. It's not even 11 o'clock yet. If you ever try to get a good time lapse, You need a minimum of 20 minutes. And that's not very much time lapse. Probably go back past the summit, so maybe I'll kick it back on, get another view from the actual summit. Have a good day. Once again, Little Agnes. For now though, I'm gonna hit the road. Gamble.